Hello, everyone, and welcome. This is Brendan from Repo Man coming at you once again with a video about phase, specifically the phase relationship between the image of your kick drum captured in the close mic and the image of your kick drum captured in the overheads. Before I get into that, there's some stuff on the screen. If you would do some or all of that, I would appreciate it. And one other thing, this video is pretty basic. So if you are a very experienced engineer, you probably don't need to watch this. With all that said, let's get into it. You can see I've got some drums here in Reaper, and there's a kick, a snare, and two overheads. There were some other mics recorded, but I decided to just pare this down for this demonstration to keep everything nice and simple. And this is what they sound like. One thing that always happens when you record drums is that you create a situation where there's going to be phase relationships between the different mics. If you don't know what that means, that's fine. I'm going to give you the elevator version of it right now. You can see if I zoom way in on this kick drum starts like about there. And then in the overheads, the kick drum starts there. So the difference is, I don't know, if I had to guess, I'd probably say 70 to 100 milliseconds, right? Is that a problem? Well, not necessarily. But if those two things are out of phase, you will have a very hard time getting low end energy out of your kick drum. And when you are trying to EQ more low end into it, it'll be weird sounding. So the phase relationship between these two things is pretty critical. And I'm going to show you how to resolve the potential issue that we're seeing here. So back in the days before digital audio workstations, there was only one way to do it. That was with the phase switch, which you can see here. If I click that, it turns blue. When that is activated, it switches the phase on this track. What that means is that this peak would become a valley. This valley would become a peak. Basically, the waveform would be upside down. So what we would do is we would roll the track, and then we would turn the phase switch on and off. And I'm going to do that right now. And we're going to see if in either state, the bottom falls out of the kick drum. Okay, so I'm actually not hearing a problem there. It seems like in either case, the kick drum is in phase. But if we zoom way into this, we can see that we do have this problem where the kick starts here in the close mic and it starts here in the overheads. All right, so I'm going to show you how to fix that nowadays in 2023 using a digital audio workstation. So the first thing is we're going to use a function called tab to transient. If I put my cursor before the kick drum and I hit the tab key, it tabs right to the beginning of that kick drum hit. Tab to transient is available in most DAWs. It's definitely available in Pro Tools. It's definitely available in Studio One and in Reaper, which is what I'm using. And then in Logic, it's slightly different. You have to place the cursor with the marquee tool, and then you use the arrow keys to shuffle through the transients. But anyway, if you're not using tab to transient, check out the documentation for your DAW and start using it, because it's very handy. Anyway, again, I'm going to set this before the kick drum hit, and I'm going to hit tab, and then I'm going to use the S key, which is a split in Reaper. I'm going to get rid of this fade. Now I'm going to select this region, and I'm going to hit tab once again, and I'm going to tab to this transient. And now I want to select both overheads, and I'm going to hit S again to do a split. I'm going to get rid of these fades, and then I am going to delete this other track. Now, that S command that I'm using, that's kind of a Reaper thing, but you know, in Pro Tools it would be Control E or Command E on a Mac. Just check out your documentation, and you'll figure out how to do a cut at the cursor location. All right, with that, I am going to grab these two regions, and I'm going to move them such that they start right where we saw the kick drum starting. So I got my cursor there, and I'm going to put this right at that point. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these two, and I'm going to drag them out to get rid of the edit. I'm going to do the same thing with the kick drum. And now we have perfectly in phase kick drums in the close mic and in the two overheads. Anyway, once again, this is a really common thing to occur in your drum recordings, and this is how you fix it. Once again, if you haven't already done the stuff that's on the screen right now, if you would do some or all of that, I would really appreciate it. And I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Thanks for watching.